Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Minutes of Inspiration with Calandra. Happy Saturday. How is it going today? I hope that you guys are having a great Saturday so far. It is a pretty nice day here in the DFW. The sun is out, so I am grateful for it. So, if you listened to last week's episode, I talked about the Doc Bookshop and how I went there for a open mic on a Tuesday. And my good friend David invited me out, and I mentioned that I would be having him come on as a guest really soon. So he agreed to come on today. So today we will be having a conversation with him about poetry. So this episode is going to be all about poetry. So, if you did not listen to the last episode, I encourage you to go back and listen to that episode so that you can just get the beginning of everything and understand how David is here today and why I am bringing on guests every month now. Well, hopefully every month. I would love to have a guest on every month. I also talked about that last episode as well. Yeah, so this is like only my second time having a guest on the podcast in like 3 years. So I do have David on today. So he is here with us. And if you are watching in video form, you will be able to see both of us. If you are listening on the audio, you will be able to hear both of us. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So I am going to introduce Blitz the poet from the Dallas Poetry Commission. He is here today to be our guest here on this Saturday. So welcome in, Blitz.
Good afternoon. You're on this wonderful Saturday.
I am great. How are you?
Great. It's wonderful to be here today.
That's awesome. So thank you for saying yes to my invitation. I really, really appreciate you. Like I said, I have been wanting to bring other voices on the episode at least once a month. So I am very, very grateful that you are here and that you said yes to the invitation. So, since today is all about poetry, we are going to go ahead and get into it today. So, I have a couple of questions that I want to ask you. And then, if you will, I would like to ask you to just perform, just do a couple of your runs for us and give us a little bit of inside scoop on what you do and just give us some poetry at the end. So, I'm going to go ahead with my first question. So, my first question is, how did you get into poetry?
Well, what got me into poetry, oddly enough, was not poetry. Hip hop music got me into poetry. From artists like Tupac to Chuck D, Ice Cube, artists like that, and the list goes on. Nas, one of my all-time favorites. They got me more into poetry than studying an Edgar Allan Poe or a Langston Hughes. It was the rap artists that got me more into it. Now I knew I couldn't rap, but I knew I could write. And
Okay.
so their influence is what pushes my pen. So that's why I'm versatile to write in different directions. And sometimes you can tell I'm influenced by a musician or by an artist. And so instead of me reading up on poets, you may see me with a headset on, listening to music. Sometimes just zoning out, listening to breaking down lyrics and getting an idea and getting inspiration for my next piece.
Okay, so music was what inspired you to get into poetry. Hip
Yes.
hop, music. Okay, that's cool. Music, I love music. I have always loved music. I love lyrics, especially. So I guess that kind of goes with poetry. I'm not a poet, but I do enjoy poetry. I do enjoy going to the poetry shows, the open mics. That is something that I like to do. I'm also a writer, so writing is also a good point that you mentioned as well. Um, so awesome. So music is what pulled you into poetry. All right, so the second question that I have here is, what does poetry mean to you? What does
Poetry
poetry do?
Poetry means a lot to me. It started off as therapy for me. I started writing at the age of 18, and so it was more therapeutic. And as it grew and evolved, it branched off to many other things. And becoming a performer, I had to grow in that as well because you can be a great writer, but until you're able to start performing on a regular basis and getting feedback from your peers and the audiences, it makes you grow. In watching other poets makes you grow. And so that's what, and so as now it's still therapy for me. Because if I, instead of taking my emotions out in in a destructive way, the pen is a very constructive way. Like unfortunate events of 2020 with the murder of George Floyd, instead of going out rioting, I'm just picking up my pen and writing. When Uvalde happened, instead of me getting angry and doing something destructive, I picked up my pen and wrote. Sometimes that pen will keep you out of more trouble than not having that pen in your hand can get you in trouble.
That's a good point. I do believe that writing is very therapeutic. Writing has been therapy for me all my life. I actually started at like 8 years old. So writing has just been a part of who I am. So I get that. It's therapeutic. And like you said, it helps you to put your pen to paper instead of going out and doing something that could get you in a lot of trouble. So it's good to have an outlet. So that's a good point. Right. And the third question that I have here is, who is your favorite poet and who inspires you?
It kind of goes back to the first question because with hip hop being inspiring, and some artists are poets at the end of the day. Your Nas is probably one of my biggest influences. Nas and Chuck D. Chuck D on the social justice end, and Nas's pen game just it's hard to explain. It's just one of those things. One of his favorite songs is One Mic for me. And
Okay.
One Mic inspires me a lot because sometimes instead of one mic, you need one pen to write what needs to be said.
That's
And
good.
Tupac,
That's good. That's good. I know in poetry y'all say rewind. So I'm going to say rewind. I'm going to say rewind that because that really, that grabbed me. So instead of one more time.
so instead of one mic, sometimes we need one pen to express what we need to get off of our chest. And so,
Okay.
like I said, Nas was a big influence. Tupac was a big influence because one thing I love about Tupac was he could show his emotion. You could hear the emotion in his voice, in his raps, and you knew he was a poet at the end of the day because he did have a poetry book. I believe it was called "A Rose That Grew from Concrete."
Yes. Tupac, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So people like Nas and Tupac, very influential. Listening to albums like Me Against the World, and you can just hear the poetry in some of those songs like So Many Tears or Dear Mama.
Yeah,
It's,
I love
it's
Tupac. So yeah, so good. I don't really listen to a lot of Nas, but I mean, of course I've heard of him, but I love Tupac, especially in the '90s. He was fire. So yes.
it's
All right. So can you give us a sample of a few of your poems?
yes. You want the full length poem?
Yeah, we got time. We
All right.
really yeah, we got time.
All right. Anybody who knows me knows this. I'm a huge sports fan. So with that being said, let me give you this piece called Play Ball. Let's play ball. So we have these senators in Washington that think they know what's best for all, acting as if they're giants in this world, never truly understanding the common man or woman. I mean, is this an expo of ignorance because they want us to sit back, allow them to control the narrative over gun control issues and women's rights? Well, that ain't right. Once again, these Yankees don't understand what it's like to be the common man or woman. I mean, we have those who blindly follow the red and the blue parties, never truly seeing the problems in this country. But it's all good. That's why I don't trust political snakes, especially Diamondbacks that may have been draft dodgers back in the day. Once again, these Yankees don't understand what it's like to be the common man or woman. We're not twins. So please don't think you can dictate what we should do. We're all just metropolitans lost in these city streets. That's why we need a mariner to navigate us through these streets as if they were the open seas, so we can avoid being stung by the devil rays and captured by these vicious pirates who think we're marlins and have a nice catch. We have to be brave enough to embrace the elements and even climb the Rockies if necessary, for we are some of the most athletic. That's why they want to lace our Phillies so that we can't defy the astronomical odds of being forgotten. They want to lock us in the cages like tigers and allow their cubs to run loose. Since we're monarchs, we got royal blood in our system, comes from our ancestors. That's why they want to allow their cubs to run loose and set all the rules. They allow birds to fly free, even if guilty from Orioles, Cardinals, Blue Jays. Then they think it's okay to steal the land from the Indians, then claim to be nationals and become guardians of a land they stole. They wear Red Sox, White Sox, red stockings. It's all the same thing as they send Rangers to round up me and my Padres for having too much fun at the parties hanging with Brewers, for they act as if they're angels when they're nothing more than the devil in disguise. That's one poem. Got to catch my
Okay,
breath
okay.
there.
What's the title of that?
It's called Play Ball. And
Play
so
ball.
I integrated every Major League Baseball team into the poem, including one Negro League team and a few teams whose names are no longer in existence. Like the Montreal Expos were a team, obviously in Montreal. They moved to the Washington D.C. and became the Nationals. But I wanted to figure a way to pay homage to every team since I grew up loving baseball.
Okay,
And so, with that being said, like teams like the Indians will no longer exist, but I wanted to make a social justice point by using the sport that I love and by telling the story that made a lot of sense because this country was taken over. The natives were labeled as Indians, and so that's why I hinted towards this land that they stole the land from the Indians and claimed to be nationals and guardians of a land that didn't belong to them. So
okay. So a lot of history in that poem.
yes, and I just
Awesome.
wanted to use the teams as wordplay.
Okay, okay. That was great. And if you could just give us another one, like one of your like favorite, your all-time favorites.
Okay, let's see. Because of where I'm at, there's certain things I won't say in this building because
Okay, okay,
so. But one that is a crowd favorite, and I'm going to tweak it up because I'll be honest, everybody, I'm I'm in a church right now.
okay,
Got done
okay,
with a meeting, so I don't like using profanity that often. But this is a crowd favorite. It's called channel surfing.
okay,
So normally I like to listen to the radio as I write, but today I decided to turn the radio off, turn the television on for some motivational, inspirational vibes. So I tuned into CNN to see an end to objective news. I then switched over to Fox News. Well, let's just say their views were kind of skewed, looking like a lost episode of The View. I mean, it was no better on headline news as they were giving gossip reviews as if it were e-news. But this is what happens when a network's ran by impractical jokers. I mean, no matter what networks we watch, our views don't matter. I thought I was watching some classic WWE SmackDown. What I thought was the big boss man giving a sidewalk slam just happened to be a cop on a body cam slamming another black man down. I mean, growing up, we were young and reckless instead of young and restless, but these are the days of our lives. As
okay,
family matters, as we need strong family ties for when we step out into the real world, it's a different world when you're black in America, for they don't care unless you're rich or running an empire. I mean, just because you tune into BET, I'm willing to bet they flipped the format from classic creative content like BET News, Comic View, 106 in Park to just another watered down cable network. I mean, MTV has been irrelevant since it was music television. Now it's teen moms, catfish, and ridiculousness. But what would you expect when Viacom runs so many networks? I mean,
Okay.
I tuned into CBS only to CBS. I mean, when they allow Paramount to pay any amount to allow politicians to stay in power and run the narrative, this is what happens when you channel surf.
Okay. Okay. Snap, snap, snap. That
I'm
was
not
good.
just
I love that.
saying.
I love both of them. Thank you so much for both of them. That is awesome. So, thank you so much for being a guest today. I really, really appreciate you. And if you could just let the listeners know where they can find you at on social media.
You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram at Blitz underscore THA underscore poet. I am part of the Dallas Poetry Commission, and we do shows all over. We travel. We as a unit have been to, this year we've been to Nashville, Houston, Peoria, St. Louis, and New Orleans. And we are looking for anywhere. Just pick up the phone. We're always willing to be there. You can find me under Facebook at, I believe under my real name, under David Jackson. But if you type in Blitz the Poet, they'll probably link it together. And I believe I recently created a TikTok page. I'm still trying to
Okay,
work on
come
the
on,
algorithm.
TikTok. I
It's,
love TikTok, so that's why I had to say that. Come on, TikTok. What's your
it's under the
TikTok?
name Blitz the Poet. I'm not sure if it's all one word or not because I have not used it that much.
Okay.
And like I said, I guess I might as well let people know now. If you
Okay.
live in Fort Worth, I will be doing a residency at the Doc Bookshop on September 23rd. Got a special guest, can't tell you about that yet. And I'll
Okay.
be back on October 7th. Also, I'm not trying to overshadow those who are already having residencies up there. I'm just letting y'all know, I'm letting it out early that I will have residency on those 2 dates, and it will be a dope show.
So,
And
at the doc, is it going to be the DPC or it's just you? It's going to be you're the main act.
well, on September 23rd, I will be hosting the show.
Okay.
Um, there may or may not be DPC members there. I don't want to spoil any surprises, but I can say this: our featured poet is not a Dallas Poetry Commission member. They
Okay.
do not reside in the state of Texas. So I'm bringing some out of state talent into the building, is all I can say. Now, for October, it might be Dallas Poetry Commission. I can't tell you everything.
Okay. Well, if anyone listens that live in the DFW, you want to go and check out the Doc Bookshop, correct? In Fort Worth?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
If you listen to the episode prior, I talked about how I was there, and that is why I brought David on to the show today so that he can give you a little bit of his spiel and his poetry and his art. So you want to check out the Doc Bookstore in Fort Worth. And what day is it on? Is it
um,
Tuesday or
they
different?
do shows every Tuesday. And
Okay.
now, I don't do every Tuesday. I'm My Monday through Fridays are usually complicated, so I'm mostly everywhere else on Fridays and Saturdays. Like I said, come check out my page, Blitz underscore the underscore poet on Instagram in the Dallas Poetry Commission page because I am one of many talented poets that are part of the Dallas Poetry Commission roster. And so I want
Okay.
to uplift not just myself, but my team as well. So you may not see me at every event, but I'm almost certain we will have an event everywhere. So we have events all over Dallas, Fort Worth. And like I said, we travel. And I do more than social justice poems, but that was what I was in the mood for today.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Hopefully this was good and you enjoyed being here and you would like to come back in the future to give us some more of your other work. So hopefully this won't be your only time popping into the minutes of inspiration.
Well, I hope not. All right.
Right. Okay, but thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate you, especially since last week I talked about just how I knew, or I was hoping by the end of this month that I would have a guest on, and then I specifically said hopefully you would come on. And I can't believe we're matching. I know we said that off camera, but I can't believe that we were matching and we did not put this together, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, I know if you're listening, you can't see what we have on, but if you're watching on the YouTube channel, we did not decide to dress alike for the event.
Yeah, and
So,
I didn't even give y'all my favorite poem about sneakers.
oh, okay. You want to go ahead and give that one? Or
No,
are you
y'all
not
gotta come to
time?
the shows and find me.
You
Y'all
okay.
gotta come to the
Okay,
shows
well
and
next
find me. I
time.
can't give y'all all my stuff.
Next time. Next time. All right, so thank you so much though for coming on. I really, really, truly appreciate you. And I'm just going to get into some advertisements as well as scripture because everything I do is going to have a scripture to it. So the scripture that I have today is Proverbs 18, and it is verse 16. It's Proverbs 18 and 16. And it says, a man's gifts make room for him and bringeth him before great men. A man's gifts make room for him and bring him before great men. So, this, what we talked about today, was a gift. It's a gift to be a poet. It is a gift from God to be good with words. It is a gift from God to be able to perform, to be able to speak, to be able to show whatever it is that the Lord has given you. So, Proverbs 18 and 16. This is from the King James Version. A man's gifts make room for him and bringeth him before great men. Also, the advertisements that I want to add to today is I have recently added Sister You Are Loved mentorship group to my linktree. If you guys know, I am a healing purpose coach. I offer one-on-ones, 60 minutes as well as 30 minutes. And now I have added the Sister You Are Loved mentorship group on there as well. So this started out as a Bible study group with me and some of my friends. Now I'm adding it to the link tree, so it'll be a little bit different. It is $40 a month, which is $10 a week. We'll meet every Tuesday at 6:30 Central Time on Zoom. So if you're interested in that, just click the link tree on my bio on any of the social media platforms that you follow me on. If you're watching on the YouTube, you're able to just go to my profile there and you'll find the link tree. If you are new, welcome to Minutes of Inspiration with Calandra. I'm so grateful to have you here. You can follow me on Facebook at Calandra underscore Harlan. You can also follow me on Instagram at Calandra underscore Monique. The YouTube channel is Minutes of Inspiration with Calandra, as well as the TikTok. And as far as the audio version, you can listen on Apple or Spotify. And that is also Minutes of Inspiration with Calandra. Anywhere you follow me, you're able to click on the link tree in my bio. That way you can find out all things about Minutes of Inspiration with Calandra. You can also schedule your one-on-ones there. And again, if you're interested in a group setting, the group is Sister You Are Loved. You can click the link tree in my bio there, and then you can schedule for the Sister You Are Loved. And that is more of a mentorship group instead of a one-on-one. It will be again Tuesday, 6:30 to 7:30 Central Time. And the group is small. I like intimate settings, so the max is 6. I want everyone to have an accountability partner. So with the 6, we're able to pair up. So if you're interested in something like that, just click the link tree in my bio. Click on Sisters You Are Loved, and all of the details is going to be right there from the link tree. Also, I wanted to share this with just you guys here with the Minutes of Inspiration podcast family. I have started online courses. I am taking online training to get my certification for life coaching. Although it is unregulated, I wanted to study to get the extra tools that I'll need to be great at what I know that the Lord has called me to do. I have not shared this with anyone other than my son. So I am sharing this with you guys here on the Minutes of Inspiration podcast family. If you listen to the podcast, you really rock with me. So that is why I'm sharing this here. I have also talked about it on past episodes, how it was in the making, and it is finally now here. So I will be completing that by the end of this year so that I will be able to be a certified life coach. So just wanted to put that out there. That is a praise report for me. I hope that is encouragement for you as well. If you've been listening to me some time, you've heard me talk about it. So I hope that that motivates, encourages, and inspires you to go out and do whatever it is that you want to do with your life as well. Because again, our gifts make room for us. Again, that is Proverbs 18 and 16. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Minutes of Inspiration with Calandra. And as always, know that you are loved, you are valuable, and your life is worth living. God bless you. Thank you so much, David, for being here. And I will see you all next Wednesday for Worship Wednesday. Have a blessed day.
You're welcome. Y'all take it easy.
Bye bye.